In that last episode, after running a tap through all of those tapped holes, and I think maybe kind of in a reflection of backwards thoughts, I stated that was a reamer and it was actually a tap. And what I ended up with down yonder, when I got that hole cleaned up yonder for that there fuel pump stud bolt right down yonder in the bottom, once that got cleaned up, it's a 1/2 inch thread in there. As I ponder what to do with that thread, oversized as it is, I went on ahead and cleaned up the inside of that there crankcase side cover right there. I'm going to put a coat of Rust-Oleum rusty metal primer on there, you know, just kind of as I do. And I did find a cam that had probably got 50% of original paint on the part you can see and the back side. We'll get this painted, let it dry, and reassemble this, and then get back into that thread right there. One of the most often asked questions is how much wear is too much. That's the most often asked question of any machinist or mechanic, or, well, it's stuff that you probably it's to the point where that you have to get out the pencil. You got to get the pencil out and do some math. Not to beat around the bush here. We'll get on with this really quick. Just a short explain. And what I done here is I took that hole gauge right there, and I got the size of that hole down in yonder. At the top right here, it was 943 thousandths. Okay, at the bottom of the hole, it was 943 thousandths. So there is no wear in this hole as far as a taper condition is concerned. It could be some wear in there as to the difference between when it was manufactured until now, but it's not at a taper. It's a straight through hole. Probably not knowing this to be a fact, just kind of thinking out loud in a machinery frame of mind, and also checking all dimensions 3 or 4 times in order to get the exact numbers to work with. The cam shaft, the shaft here that the cam goes on, the dimension from here outwards it's unworn. That's as machined. That size right there is 936 thousandths. Most likely this material was bought as a 15/16 shaft, and it was undersized. 15/16 being 938 thousandths, so it would be 2 thousandths undersized on the get-go as manufactured. And that would have been a straight shaft all the way through until it gets down here on this end. But the working part, going by that, measuring it right here, and you can see the wire line, measuring it right here in this area, it's 933 thousandths. Compared to here, we got a 3 thousandths wire difference right from, I'm going to say it's about 3/4 of an inch distance there where that is at 933. Measuring it down here close to the gear, that measurement is 935 thousandths. 1/1000th difference between this measurement and this measurement. So then, and the reason for that is the cam itself would be on this end of the shaft, and there's always pressure against that. The exhaust valve system and the fuel pump all puts pressure at an angle, so it would come to reason that the outside would wear first. With all that said, we've ended up with let's say from the hole here, the 943 large, that hole size, which this goes in there from the other side, that hole size being 943, and the smallest measurement here is 933, so we have 10/1000ths wear. We have 10/1000ths difference. And to answer that question, how much wear is too much? 10/1000ths is, well, it's not, and this is not the gear, this is not the shaft and gear that I had in the other video. I decided to use this one, even though it has some wear as compared to the other one, because I think the other one was a new old stock. But this goes right in here like this right here, and then even at that point, if you feel the play there, you know, you can feel it, but it's not excessive. So I think 10/1000ths, it's not to the point where I would shim it up. You may notice that I have removed all of that rust on the back here really good, and coated it with Rust-Oleum Rusty Metal Primer. We're good to go. We will assemble this shortly. The other measurements that is in question is the cylinder sleeve, and this one's just out here for show and tell. I've already put one in the engine, and and you get the measurement, and the way I came up with the amount of wear in the cylinder is with the bore gauge and the micrometer corresponding, and the measurement there. And like I say, I did do this more than one time in order to get two numbers that are the same, because it's really easy to use wishful thinking when you are trying to measure something. And the measurements here, the one that's in the engine over there, the one installed in the engine, the unwore, the part out here where the ring on these stops about right here, and then it goes back to about right here. That's the ring travel right there. So, and this is the open space from where the end of the piston is right here. That's just open, so it would have no wire whatsoever on the front end here. So I did take the measurement. I took the measurement on the front of the cylinder. That measurement was 3 inches 645/1000ths right here. And then I took a measurement in the part that I thought, looking down in the cylinder, the part down in there that showed the most wear with the bore gauge, and that measurement was 3 inches 625/1000ths. Do the math right there, and you end up with a 20/1000ths wear, a 20/1000ths different. So that means that this cylinder has 20/1000ths ring wear in it. Now I did replace, and I'm going to go with that. it's one of the reasons that I'm going to go with that is the one that I put in the engine, where the rings travels, looks really good. No pits and scratches and such as that. So with the new rings, it's 20 thousandths wear in there that I know about now. I'm going to go with that. And to answer the question, how much wear is too much? And you know, I'm not sure. I don't have a number in mind that I stop at, but I would think getting on up to 30 thousandths. At that point, you probably need a oversized ring or some other means of repair. So with all of that said, and I did measure the piston, measured the piston on the skirt part, and then up here where the rings is at, I did measure that several different places all the way around. The piston is it's good and true, don't have any wear. Keeping in mind that some pistons are not made round. Yeah, look that up. That'll leave you with some little homework there and some figures to go by. And as I know in the comments down there, you're going to say, well, it was a waste of time, this video. But believe me, when you're putting together an engine and you want that engine to start on the first or second turn of the flywheel, when you pull it out there and the first attempt to start that engine, then this right here will pay off at that time. You leave this part out right here, and you're going to be cranking on your engine for a while, scratching your head and say, well, you know, it could be this, could be that. And this right here is the work you do on the bench in the shop that takes that out of the equation. And I'll leave you with the question for the week is, how many turns of the flywheel will it take before this engine starts once we put it out? Once we plug that magnet in there, how many turns of the flywheel will it take to start the engine? Now leave a comment. From here on the East Coast, Arkansas, Shop Dog Sam. Now let's get back to this. Yeah, that's okay.